Hello there, beautiful people. How y'all doing? Happy Sunday. Happy Easter Sunday, to be more specific. So, I am your licensed esthetician cousin, Sylvia Teresa. And this is the ST Experience. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate the applause. Okay, so jumping right on in. I figured we'd do something a little bit different this week because it kind of hit me that I have not actually formally introduced myself or reintroduced myself. I just started posting and speaking to kind of people who were already familiar with me, right? Like people who already followed me, friends, family, old classmates, and things like that, right? So I want this to be kind of a reintroduction. So, welcome to chapter 6. Get to know your Esti cousin, Sylvia. Okay, so starting off from the top, my name is Sylvia Teresa Wilson. I'll give you my full government. You can look it up. I don't have any nobody's looking for me like that. So, yes, I am a little. My mom is also named Sylvia. That's just a fun fact about me. And I am a licensed esthetician in 3 states, soon to be 4, currently New York, New Jersey, and North Carolina. And I have been an esthetician for 5, going on 6 years now. And it has been the single best decision I have made in my entire career, like my lifetime of career choices. It really has. And I can't imagine myself doing anything different. So let's start there. How did I get started? I had a best friend who became an esthetician some years ago. And she would always say, "So you'd be so good at this. You would love it. You could do waxing. You can do facials. You can do laser. You could do everything. There's so many different things you could teach. We could do a myriad of things." And at the time, I had a account management job and I was making decent money. So it was just like, okay, girl, but that's not, I'm good, right? Like I was just like, oh, I'm good. I don't really need to get into it. Nice idea, but whatever. And I remember this was 2019 and I was an account manager and I remember I was working from home. And this particular day, my grandmother had had her second stroke, my grandma Sonia, and she had had her second stroke. And I remember getting the text like, "Grandma's back in the hospital." And I was like, I don't want to be here at this job. And at that point, I really was just over my job. I was really there for the money. I started working from home. And what really kept me at the job was the people, but they had switched up the teams. We were acquisitioned. And if you've ever worked for a company and it's been bought out, it changes the secret sauce, right? So it just wasn't the same. And at the time, the manager that I had, I mean, we're just gonna say it was a no for me, right? Okay. And my work started to fail because I didn't like it. And when I don't want to do something or if I don't like something, I'm not gonna put my whole effort into it, right? Like I'm not gonna give everything I got to it. So yeah, fast forward, I get the text and I'm like, I don't want to be here. And at the time, I'm on the phone with my best friend and I'm like, I happened to pull up my calendar and they put a meeting on it. So it had to be like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. And I was just like, "Beep, I'm getting fired." And she was just like, "Why you say that?" Because don't nobody put a meeting on your calendar unexpectedly at 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. You know what's about. I knew it. I felt it. I knew it was coming. So it just so happened that it was a perfect alignment of I don't want to be here anymore. My grandmother's in the hospital. I really rather be there with my family and I'm about to get fired. So great. This is all working out, right? So I got fired, which I'm not ashamed to say that I got fired. Okay. Like first job I ever got fired from was the movie theater. We'll get into that. That still hurts till this day. That was the whole thing. But it happens, right? And Cool. Fast forward, I was on unemployment and then I decided to go back to school for to finish my associate's degree at Union County College. Started it years ago when I first graduated, and I was like, you know what? If they're gonna pay for it, why not get it? Okay. So wind up going to finish that out. And I won't forget this. Top of 2020, I remember I was coming back from Vegas with one of my girlfriends, and that week I was set to graduate. So it was just I was just riding a wave of just like, oh, my life is gonna be so good and da 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 da. Got back from Vegas, graduated, walked across the stage, went out to dinner with my friends, my family. It was great. Like I was just like, this is so beautiful. I was so proud of myself, right? Weeks later, I'm still just trying to figure out what it is that I want to do. Where do I want to go? Because I had promised myself once I left that place, I was never going to be at a job again that ate at my soul, right? Like it started to feel like it was taking away pieces of my soul because it wasn't fulfilling. Financially, it was good, but it just, I hated it. There's no other way to say that. So I was just like, okay, fine. What are we going to do now? But then, aha, okay, because when you sometimes got to figure some things out, the Lord will make a way for you to figure it out. The pandemic happened that March. That was what, February, March? That's when the pandemic of 2020 happened. And I was sat down. There was nothing for me to do except for, and I was living by myself. There was nothing for me to do except for review my life. What do you want to do now? Where do you want to go? How do you want to live and do your life going forward, right? You don't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore. That's just not for you. What can you do? My best friend brings it back up. Try aesthetics. So I'm like, you know what, girl? Okay. Okay. So I started looking into some schools and I found a school which loved in South Plainfield. Shout out to them. I don't know if I should say the name, how I should innovate, right? Uh Amazing. My classmates were amazing. The girls, I love them. My teacher, the best. Like just a great experience in school, right? And I remember the first day going to school, I was like, I was nervous because I was just like, oh my God. I was like in my 30s and I was just like, oh my God, like, can I do this? Start over? Oh my God, I don't know if I want to do this, however, whatever. But I remember asking for a sign. And for me, if I ask for a sign, oh, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. So I will ask. So I was like, Lord, am I supposed to be doing this? Is this what I'm really supposed to be doing? Should I do this? And I remember getting off the exit, it was exit 4 on Hadley Road. And as I'm getting off the exit, this cardinal just flies and sits right on the road. And I'm like, okay, here we go. This is what we're doing. And so here I am, right? That's the story of how I became an esthetician. And again, it is probably the single best decision I have made career wise thus far to become an esthetician. I love it. So, moving on to why I started my business. And to say that, I would have to go back a little bit to I was working at a Hand and Stone after I left school, and I did that for 3 years. And I also started working at this other place called Lifetime, which was that was really good. That was a really great experience that I had. And I had a really great manager too. She was amazing and she's beautiful too. So that's a whole other thing. And everybody there was just I always find that I work in places that I love the people more than I actually like the job itself. Also I should say I'm a Sag, so maybe that explains a lot about me, but yeah, so um I've worked at different places, right? A few different places. But in between that, I started doing freelancing for like different companies, and I would go to these corporate wellness events, or I would do spa parties and things like that. So I was doing those things while I was still working at, the corporate, well, the franchise job that I had. And it just got to a point where I'm like, one, I can make more money. Two, it started to feel that particular place that I was at, the franchise. It just felt like it just wasn't for me anymore. The energy wasn't there. And for me, once the energy of a place leaves, I need to leave. This can get dangerous. Let me go. So I decided to start my own. And if I'm being very, very, very candid, I got fired from both of those places. Like, but from Hand and Stone, once I left there, I remember I remember leaving. I remember I got fired because I didn't come into work that day, and they had a training, and I had a job opportunity in the city, and I was like, well, they're going to pay me more. So what am I going to do? Like, I prayed about it. For me, it's prayer, right? I believe in God. Okay. So I prayed about it, and it was just like, no, go do this job. Trust me. Okay. Okay. So I went to the job, and when I tell y'all, the the room that they put me in, it was just like this view of the city that I had never seen before. I was just in awe of, this could be my life every day. Like, this is what I would be able to do. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This is what I want. This is what I want. So that afternoon I got the message that I was fired. So I was like, okay. But I also, in between that, I did have the other job at Lifetime, or I think I acquired that like shortly after. And I started working there. And then that changed. I got let go from there because I had moved and it just wasn't working. So that was that, right? But I started ST Mobile Skin Club because I wanted facials to be accessible. I had run into a lot of people who never had a facial, right? Didn't think that it was for them because they thought it was expensive, right? Or they thought that it just was this indulgence of luxury that they just didn't owe that to themselves, which I want to really break that narrative. Facials are necessary because it is investing in you. It is investing in your skin. Your skin, your face is your face and your outfit. That is the first thing people see about you, right? So, what is it saying to them? Is your face crusty? Is it dry? What is it actually telling them that you do for yourself, to care about yourself, that when you show up in the world, you're like, "Hey, I'm here." Right? So, I wanted this to be a service that is accessible to everybody. I want people to feel like this is me investing in myself. It's a necessary way for me to, one, again, feel good about yourself, but also take care of your skin. It's so important to do that. So I really wanted this to be accessible. So that's why I come to you. There's no excuse. If I'm coming to you, you have no excuses. Now what? Right? So that's kind of why I started ST Mobile Skin Club. And I call it a club because I want it to be a community of estheticians, as well as skincare enthusiasts, as well as skincare newbies. I want this community to be, how do I say? I want to build a community that loves loving on themselves. That's what I want. Full stop. That's what I want. I want to build a community of people, men, women, teens, kids, because it starts when you're young also, that you are willing to invest in yourself. So I want to take out all the hard stuff or the challenging things that people think make getting a facial difficult or understanding skincare difficult. It's very basic, right? Find things that work for your skin, use that consistently. That's really what you need to do to have good skin, right? Every Nobody is above having good skin. I don't care what kind of skin you have, if you have acneic skin, if you have aging skin, all of these things you are still deserving of having good skin. That is an I'm getting a word for myself. Everyone is deserving of having good skin. Okay. So no, ST is it's a play on words. It's a play on words. Sylvia Teresa, and then it just happened to be ST. Like, you know how when people just have a name and it just works, like they were meant to do something. And I don't know if me being named Sylvia Teresa was supposed to be me becoming an ST. I don't know, right? I don't know. But I do know that it works. ST, SD, it just works. Like Beyonce, like who else could Beyonce have been? Would she have been a Walmart cashier? No. With a name like Beyonce, baby, she was meant to be a star. So there is a part of me that feels like I was meant to be an esthetician. So that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that's why I wanted to start the skin club. And it's still growing, right? I'm still trying to figure out how I can actually make it a club and make it more for community. But what I also realized is me starting the channel was going to help with that, because people trust people that they can see and that they feel like they know and are relatable. And I understand that because that's how I view people online, right? If I see you and I like you and I trust you, whatever product you're selling, I'm going to buy it, right? So I wanted to build more of a social capital for myself, right? Starting this business, as well as getting myself un getting myself comfortable with being in front of the camera, so to speak, right? Putting myself out there. That was very uncomfortable for me. I can post things because it's just whatever, but to post and talk about myself and do this, even now, just talking about myself, I'm a little nervous. Part of me feels like I'm rambling, but if you stayed for this long, thank you so much. But it is teaching me how to be consistent, how to show up for myself weekly, right? To do this, how to also show up for people who are now holding me accountable and looking for me to show up, right? These are things that I am developing within myself, and I'm not just butterflying around the world anymore. It's starting to make me become more rooted in my person, if that makes sense. That makes sense. You get what I'm saying. Because one time I had said to I had said to my best friend at the time, um, my personality has run out. And we had a laugh. It's just like, girl, what? I realized that I am a likable person and I love that. And I realized that likability is capital and it will get you in the room. However, it's not going to keep you there. And I realized that I needed to become more stable as far as my business acumen and my how to be able to articulate myself better, and just these things that I feel that I coasted on because people like me, right? Now I'm having to really push through and be consistent, right? Not procrastinate, ask for help, all of these things that were just kind of given to me or foreign to me in ways. So yeah, we're learning and we're growing as we do this. So I hope that by listening to this channel, by tuning into this channel on a weekly basis, that it's helped you in ways, because I feel like if I'm showing up, maybe this helps you show up better, right? So, yeah, that's kind of, a little bit of background about me as an esthetician and how I got started, why I started my skin club, as well as why I even started the channel and why I'm posting. So, yeah, if you guys have any more comments or questions, or you want to tell me about yourself, right? Because again, I really do want to build a community so that way we can make skincare accessible. We can make it understandable. We can really help everybody know that you deserve good skin. Okay? You are deserving of good skin. Period. No matter your complexion, no matter your age, no matter your gender, you are deserving of good and healthy skin. And I want to give it to you. Okay? So, thank you so much. That was that wasn't as easy as you might think. Like it is getting easier every week to do the videos, but to talk about myself, and it just is still something that I'm kind of uncomfortable with. I can tell you about me in person, but to put this online for everybody to see, child. So, hopping into our ditto of the week. Last week, I asked for you guys to do your letter to yourself, to your favorite age, and then open it up on your birthday. Did you do it? Did you do it? Raise your hand if you did it. Good for you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Raise your hand if you didn't do it. I didn't do it yet. See, this is what I'm talking about. I want to build a realistic community. Sometimes I don't stick to what I say that I'm going to do. I had intentions of doing it last week, but I got hooked up in this project and it took longer. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. And then I just forgot. So I'm going to do it this week. I promise by next week, I'm going to come back and tell you that I did it. But you can still do it. I don't know when your birthday is. Mine is in December. So I still got a little bit of time, but I'm going to do it this week. The ditto for this week, though, is. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Okay, because I want y'all to get uncomfortable with me. Do one thing that is uncomfortable for you and post about it. You can post it or you can send it to me. How about that? Do one thing that you have been wanting to do, but you're scared to do, right? And it makes you a little uncomfortable, and post about it. Again, you can post it or you can just write about it. You can tell me about it. You can message me about it. Whatever you decide. But do one thing that makes you uncomfortable this week. Okay? I already know what mine is, and I'm already building it up in my mind to be this massive, woolly mammoth of a thing. And I know that it is not, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, yes. All right. Well, I'm going to say this to you as I say this to myself. You don't know what you don't know, but you can learn as you go. But you have to go. You don't know what you don't know, and you can learn as you go, but you have to go. And I feel that this is what I'm doing in real time in front of y'all. I don't know how to do a lot of this, right? But I'm learning as I go. And I'm glad that I started. So, all right, beautiful people. That concludes our chapter 6 of getting to know your Esti cousin, Sylvia Teresa. I hope that helped get for you to get to know me a little bit better. And again, if you have any more questions or comments or want to share things about yourself that I may not know, please let me know. Okay. I am here for that. So yes, beautiful people. I will see you all next Sunday. Same bad time, same bad channel. Okay. Have a great week, y'all.